North Bay Battalion tonight on a Friday night in downtown Nickel City. Jeff Giffen here for the broadcast, along with Ben Leeson from the Sudbury Star. And Ben, the Wolves really hoping to have a much better game here tonight. They come into tonight's game with a record of 0-4-1. The one, an overtime loss to these same Battalion, and looking to get a little bit of revenge here tonight.
Yeah, certainly a tough start to the season for the Sudbury Wolves. And the last time we saw them in this building, you're right, they did play a competitive game, lost in overtime against this same North Bay team. A few different faces in the lineup on both sides now, as some guys have come back from NHL camps. But it seems like a perfect opportunity after a tough 3-3 weekend and three losses in a row to extend their streak to 4 games, that the Wolves have a chance to change momentum here a little bit. And if this is a game, if you're not going to get up for this game, I don't know what game you're going to get up for.
Well, at some point you got to get into the win column, and who better to help them do that than last year's leading scorer on the team, big left winger Kieran Walton, back tonight for his first game in a Wolves uniform in the 2025-26 season. And he comes in coming off a season where he had 38 goals and 92 points in 66 games. So a huge breath of fresh air for really everyone on the roster.
Massive ad for the Wolves, and he gives them a lot more options up front too. But yeah, a little bit of misfortune for Kieran Walton and his training camp with the Winnipeg Jets. Of course, took a heavy hit from his former teammate Owen Protz that sidelined him briefly with a concussion, but he's passed all his tests. He's been cleared to play, and by all accounts, he's looked to be in good condition here this week. So the Wolves will be thrilled to have him back in their lineup.
In the 6th round draft pick of the Winnipeg Jets, joining the lineup along with another new face in the lineup who came here this week via the trade route, and he is Liam Lads, a right defenseman, 6'2", 180 pounds, coming from the Petes after 2 seasons there, and really gives a young defense corps, an inexperienced defense corps, something they lack quite a bit of, which is that experience. Also a little more size than maybe they've got on the back end as a group. Bit of grit. We've seen him fight in this building. Took on Nathan Villeneuve at one point last year in a pretty good little tilt. But yeah, I think the Wolves were thinking they needed a little more size, and like you say, a few more games played in the OHL to help stabilize things back there as some of these young guys come along. Absolutely. As the Wolves step on the ice, and a Friday night crowd excited to see them here. There's also, as you see, the young defenseman Kearns is on the ice as well, rejoining the lineup. So tonight, real quick, we'll kind of just high level go over as we get to the national anthem, the lineup. Walton will be starting on left wing with Vladimir Provorov, and on right wing, Hudson Chitteroni. For the North Bay Battalion, their top line would be Arseny Pronin, Ethan Procession, and Shamar Moses. And Ben, I'll get you to go over the goaltenders for tonight's game. A couple of somewhat experienced goaltenders between the pipes for both clubs.
Yeah, the Wolves go back to Finn Marshall tonight in their net. He's coming off a pretty solid first start for the season in Windsor last Friday. The Wolves did fall 4-0 in that one, but he made some big saves, kept them in it close for a long time, and certainly wasn't necessarily the deciding factor in that game. So hopefully he can build on his momentum here and help the Wolves get back where they need to be. And Mike McIver, who we didn't see in that overtime game last week, Charlie Larocque, since been traded, played for North Bay in that one. And Mike McIver comes in with a .914 save percentage among the leaders in the OHL.
As we get into the national anthem. Welcome back to the Wolves radio broadcast. Still some water pooling on the ice at center. It's, of course, a very warm night here in the Nickel City, and we'll see if that has any impact on how the puck bounces in tonight's contest. They're going to roll up the mat that rolled out to center ice. Dario Zulich down at the boards and greeting a few people. The owner of the Wolves, he stopped by moments ago and is excited about tonight's game. His team coming back onto their home ice after having been on the road for 4 straight games. And it's really a very difficult schedule for the Wolves, for a young team in particular, to start with so many games on the road, Ben. And this game here tonight is one of the few at home, and you really have to take advantage.
Yeah, I believe 8 of their first 10 on the road. Of course, 4 in a row there, including that tough 3-3. So a nice welcome return home for sure.
I don't know what that
Just dropping the ceremonial puck here, doing the ceremonial puck drop here right now, and they'll be underway here just in a moment. Fans are still filling in, but it looks like should be a decent crowd here tonight.
I see Alex Ferran on the ice for a ceremonial puck drop, heading back to the bench, wearing an A on his jersey tonight for the Sudbury Wolves.
Well, we should mention, too, that the Wolves did announce by social media today that Nathan Villeneuve has been named their team captain. Of course, Nathan not in the lineup today, with Alex Ferran, Kieran Walton, and Rowan Henderson as the alternates.
We're just getting ready for puck drop here at the Sudbury Arena. As you see, the line of Clayton, Henderson, and Coughlin will get things started for the hometown Sudbury Wolves. On home ice, it's Blonda and Odell on the back end. And of course, as Ben talked about in the pregame, Marshall starting between the pipes for the Wolves. Wolves still carrying 4 goaltenders and looking for someone to take charge of that crease area. Here we go, puck drop. Clayton gets tied up, and I almost said the Centennials, the Battalion will control the puck and get it in deep. Blonda takes a bit of a bump on the boards, and it's up on the left side for Henderson, carries over the line, finds Coughlin steaming toward the net, puck bouncing, and a shot on goal as it ricocheted in on the Battalion goaltender. A pretty good little chance for the Wolves in the very early going. Here's Cronin. Cronin gets run into the boards by Blonda, and the Wolves will look to break it out. It's chipped up high, bouncing to center, and controlled by North Bay. And we're going to have a offside at the North Bay blue line. Just 40 seconds into this contest, been a decent chance. The puck was kind of bouncing and a little bit erratic for Coughlin, but it did find its way to the goal.
Good chance, and then a quick follow-up. Well, that's something Scott Barney stressed repeatedly this week is, getting pucks to the net and bodies to the net. So the Wolves the Wolves starters setting a good example that way.
And Kieran Walton now on the ice for Sudbury, his first shift of the season. He circles around at center, puck inside the Sudbury zone. Wolves D controlling, and it's going to be chipped in on the ricochet by Chitteroni. Goes back of the net. He'll chase after it. Battalion able to break it out to the blue line, and now into center ice. Back for it is the newcomer Liam Lads. He'll flip it up to the blue line, but not out. And right for the Battalion, ripping it in. It goes to the far boards. Shot back in behind the net. A nice hit by Walton along the boards. Takes his man down, but the Battalion control. Puck bouncing through the slot area, and it's kicked now by Provorov, but he can't get it too far. Chitteroni playing right wing tonight as a left shot and gets it out to center. Walton will go off on a line change. Of course, he'll need to find his game legs a little bit as well at this level. And now it's going to be deflected at center ice and up into the North Bay bench. We'll have a stoppage in play, a minute 44 into this rivalry tilt between the North Bay Battalion and the hometown Sudbury Wolves. No score so far.
It's interesting. They've shuffled the lines around a little bit with Walton coming back in. Berehowski usually plays on the right side, is on the left of Jan Hoven and Alex Ferran.
Hearns battling for Sudbury and does a good job getting it deep. Gets a little chop for his troubles. Along the sideboards now, Barahowski trying to tie his man up. 3 Battalion players in there fighting for the puck. And only 1 white shirt, but he managed to get control to his teammate. Now across the right D, and Yules, his shot just past the outstretched glove of McIver. Barahowski now on the end boards. Can't control, but there's going to be a whistle from the back referee, and it's a slash. We're going to have our first power play of the night early on, just 2 minutes and 18 seconds into the game, and it's going to be a Sudbury power play.
Some good work by the Wolves forecheckers to draw a penalty there to Vaughn. Power play struggled a little bit here in the early going, but if there's one man who can pull the trigger on the power play, we know is Kieran Walton, and he's out there now.
Yeah, you know they're going to be looking for him. It's Ferron, Walton, and Coughlin. Gonchar on one point, and Provorov playing the left point. Coughlin gets tripped in front as he had a chance on a loose puck, but no call there, so the 5-on-4 continues. Walton tries to get it across for Gonchar, who had slipped into the top of the circle, and now Provorov on the right point, circling into the middle. Pass to Walton, quickly back to Gonchar. Gonchar over to Provorov. Provorov with a wrist shot, but that's blocked. Nice job by the Battalion to get in the root of that one. Walton, cross ice, and it's deflected as he tried to find Ferrand on the far side. Some good puck movement by the Wolves here. Ferrand to the middle, Gonchar. And Ferrand will rip it right on, and McIver does a nice job of sliding across to his left and is able to corral the puck. 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining in the Sudbury power play.
A nice one-timer by Walton, but McIver did a nice job seeing that. And they're using Gonchar on the point, as we've seen before, and also Vladimir Provorov back there on the back end, looking to take advantage of the vision of the 2 Russian players.
Back to the point, Blonda. Blonda will snap it on net, and a nice glove stop there by McIver as he snaps out that right glove. Of course, a lefty goaltender who catches the puck with the right hand. Barahowski on the draw for Sudbury. Wins it. Can they keep it in, though? Yes, they do. Oh, no, they don't. It just trickled out to the blue line. Chitteroni tried to keep it in, but I gather there was just a slight bit of white ice between the puck and the blue line.
Close call there for sure. Here you see Braden Bennett on the ice, the rookie. He's got a couple goals for the Wolves already. Showcased a pretty heavy shot for this team and earned some confidence from the coaches with the way he plays 200 feet. Now he's seen time on the power play.
Barahowski gets in the way of a blast from Bronson Ride and manages to keep it in. It's along the boards as they fight for it on the near side, just inside the North Bay blue line. Comes across into the middle. Bennett with a shot, nice wrist shot, and another one. That one's blocked though. Bennett with a nice snapshot kind of thing on net, and the goaltender McIver is able to make a save. He's had to be sharp in the early going here. We're only 3.5 minutes into this hockey game, and already the Wolves have 4 shots on goal.
It's about as much early pressure as we've seen the Wolves have in any other game so far this season. So it's I know they've spent a good bit of it on the power play, but definitely a good way to set the tone here early.
And here comes Blonda. Straight up the middle. Pass is missed. The Wolves will rip it in. Yule's right on net, or maybe a little bit over the net. Gloved down by the goaltender, and the Battalion are able to clear. Penalty is over. The Wolves controlling it inside their own zone. Pass up on the blue line. Ethan Dean able to deflect it in. And some good forecheck there by Henderson as he works deep in the North Bay zone. Can't control the puck though, and it's going to be Dean circling back for it for Sudbury. Over to Yules and up the center. Deflected, but that one's going to go up and over, and we'll have a stoppage in play.
They put new lighting in here in Sudbury Community Arena this week, new LEDs, which really have brightened the place up. I'm sure it's doing wonders for the TV broadcast as well, but not bad here when you're calling a game for the radio broadcast. Yeah, you can see it with the naked eye from up here in our vantage point, but you really notice it if you look up at the video board. It's so, to me anyway, it's so much clearer because of obviously the cameras being at ice level. Long shot wide of the North Bay goal. All Sudbury so far, of course, part of it because of the power play, but
they've really had some pressure in the North Bay end. Provorov circling back into his own end. A backhand stolen. And a quick shot is blocked. Almost a great scoring chance for the Battalion. Wolves back the other way. Walton gets it in deep. Ferrand back to the point. Provorov with a shot, hits a body. There's another one by Lads, and another save. And a shot just wide of the goal by the Wolves. Still showing 4-1, although I think one of those has to get added. And now Potsy coming out for the Battalion. A quick shot on goal, and the first real difficult save by Marshall. He's able to use that pad and kick it away.
Some good stuff out of Kieran Walton on both ends of the rink as he comes back and helps to break up that play and make sure there was no follow-up chance on his goaltender, Finn Marshall.
Hoagland battling for it at center ice. Able to control now, and will take it in deep along the right side boards. Chips it into the middle, but all Battalion there, and they will skate it out. Puck deep inside the Sudbury zone. Kicked at by Blonda, but can't move it out. Now it's going to be Henderson who flips it up. Puck bouncing. Coughlin chasing in after it. It's going to be Clayton picking it up, but it's knocked off his stick. And the Battalion will control in behind the back of their net. Here come the Battalion. Kent Greer up to center and deep into the Sudbury zone, but I guess he didn't make it all the way to the red line. And that's going to be called on the icing with 6 minutes and 30 seconds gone in period number 1. 5-1 the shots on goal in favor of the Wolves. No score in the hockey game, but some real good pressure by the Wolves in the early going.
Real good pressure. You know, this being only the second home game of the year, of course, the Wolves wore their throwback green jerseys for game 1. So this is our first look at the redesigned Under Armour whites. And, you know, they went for a little bit of a retro look, I think, with these. Sort of a modern retro, but a bit of a throwback to the previous jersey design. And I have to say, it's pretty sharp.
Sharp, and from a broadcaster's point of view, the letters and numbers show up very clearly on those jerseys. Imagine aided a little bit by the bright lights here now.
Yes, that doesn't hurt at all. Interesting, North Bay's, even though they've made the switch as well, their jerseys look almost exactly the same, and they're sort of lacking that Under Armour panel on the back that has sort of caught a lot of people's notice so far with the change to the new jerseys.
And I guess it's the white letters on the green jersey. They just don't show up nearly as clear as the Wolves blue on white.
Yeah, it makes you do a little more squinting from up here, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Jan Koven on the draw for Sudbury. It'll be Cam Warren on the other side for the Battalion. Puck just stays right near the dot, and finally the Battalion will skate away with it. It's Parker Vaughn. Gets it in deep. Callie going after it for the Battalion, and he is roughed up by Gavin Ewells. Around on the far side, Barahowski will chip it out. Puck bouncing to the blue line of the Battalion, but they will control temporarily. Kept in, though, at the blue line by the Wolves. And now Chitteroni goes after his man. Misses the check. Allows Callie to skate it out. On the far side, Shamar Moses will drop to his defenseman, who skates in and shoots it right across the slot, but misses everybody, and Chitteroni brings it out. Barahowski's going to slide the puck in deep. Battalion now controlling in their zone. Callie to the captain, possession. Moses loses it at the blue line, and Cronin will have to backtrack. Now the Battalion will shoot it in deep. Cronin, the only forechecker up there for the moment for the Battalion. That allows the Wolves to chip it out. Provorov can't do much with it. And now the Wolves will retreat to the neutral zone as they allow the Battalion to bring it out. That's the Wolves' top line. It looks as though Provorov and Walton have now been joined by Ferrand on this shift instead of Chitteroni.
Of course, we've seen Ferrand on that right side of the top line a few times already this season. Still looking for his first goal, the local boy, but he'd love to get one here at home and really help spark something for the Wolves.
Blonda backhands it up to the blue line, chipped out nicely by Provorov, but it's fired back the other way, and the Battalion bring it into the Sudbury zone. Circling around the net is Wellenreiter, and he takes a shot, but it's blocked. And now Provorov will move it up to Ferrand. Ferrand on the right side over his own blue line, has the puck chopped off his stick. Wellenreiter again coming for the Battalion. High slot, into the slot, quick shot, and a nice glove save by Finn Marshall. And he will hold on for a face-off, and a Wolves defender, looks like Gonchar down in the near corner in the Sudbury zone, kind of giving you the impression that maybe he took a high stick. He's slow to get up.
The ice really did open up for the North Bay shooter a little bit there, just inside the circle, and Wolves will maybe need to keep a little bigger gap than that, but luckily Finn Marshall out aggressively and flashes that glove.
Hasn't had a lot of work so far. That's his third shot, but he's looked sharp on the 3 he's faced.
Nice to see him get rolling. Had a little inconsistency in preseason, but as I said, played well last week, and like to see him build on that here.
Yeah, the most experienced guy they've got in this league, so...
Exactly, and got a real good start in the league last year before he was injured, so it'd be great to see him recapture that form.
Battalion will control. Here's Long, dumping it in behind the net, takes a bump for it. And now Lads will bank it off the backboards to his partner. And the Wolves just kind of controlling the puck inside their zone. Smith will skate it up now, gets it to Coughlin. Coughlin over the blue line, down the right side. Quick shot on net, not a hard one. Steered aside by the blocker of Mike McIver. Now a shot from the point. That one's deflected, and it goes into the corner. Big Bronson ride for the Battalion, controlling the puck, and they break it out nicely. Here comes Dubrovtsev, and he'll just slide it in deep for the Battalion. Lads pokes it up the boards, comes to center. Kunapaski is going to send it across on the other side. And now the Battalion will shoot it right back in. Lads clearing attempt doesn't work. Smith has it on the end boards for Sudbury. To the left of goaltender Finn Marshall. Battling now in the corner. A couple of players digging for the puck, and the Wolves come away, but just able to get it out over the blue line. Ethan Dean kind of looked, didn't really know what to do with it, so he just turned around and put it back to his D, which is never a bad idea. A little bit of neutral zone play here as the puck just kind of bouncing around. Nobody getting any real control inside the zone. Walton will deflect it. Again, though, onto a Battalion stick. And it's Enright across to his D partner, Greer. And tipped deep into the Sudbury end. Kearns over to Yules. And up to Provorov. Provorov, a little dish pass to Chitteroni. Might have put him offside, though. And he did, so we'll have a stoppage in play. We're down to 9:20 to go in this opening period. No score, the Wolves and the Battalion. Sudbury looking for its first win of the season, coming in with a record of 0-4-1, and the Battalion entering this game at 2-2 in the early going.
Wolves still doubling North Bay in the shot count, 6-3. Might have had a really good one there as Walton saw some ice open up, but just offside on that play.
Enright back for the Battalion inside his end. Puck knocked around the boards and out to center. Kearns gets dropped at center and is therefore unable to put it in deep. Ferrand, it's off his stick, and the Battalion shoot it back the other way. A little soccer pass by Yules, but it's onto Callie's stick. Now Callie breaking in. A shot on goal. A save by Marshall, and he just continued right into the crease.
Built the stick right now.
Shot from the point is blocked. Provorov trying to tie up his man. Battalion have it at the side of the net. A nice shot on goal. And Marshall, I think, might have stopped that one with his mask.
I think he did. And he had the stick behind him in the net, too, from when he had initially fallen in there. But his teammates got around him pretty well.
Wolves now ahead of steam here for Braden Bennett, and he's able to shoot it in deep. Marahowski takes his man into the boards. Battalion, though, able to break the puck out at least to the blue line, and they will get control. Ride mishandles it briefly, but is able to gain control. And it's going to be up to Pronin on the left side into the Sudbury zone. Procession spins and turns, fires a shot from the blue line that almost eluded goaltender Marshall on the blocker side.
That was well out, but he had the corner picked.
And there's Ride with another shot from the top of the circle near the boards. And it's right into the snarling wolf on the chest of Finn Marshall. And he'll make his 4th save of the game with 7:50 to go in a scoreless first.
Some good pushback from the Battalion here in these last couple shifts, and they've tightened up the shot count a little bit and had the Wolves pinned down a little bit in their own zone a couple times.
Going to be Procession and Coughlin on the draw to the right of goaltender Marshall.
It's interesting to see Chase Coughlin's progression as a face-off man. He's never played center full time, but he's become one of the best face-off takers on the team.
Cronin keeps the puck in for North Bay off the draw. Procession along the boards, in deep. And now fired out front. There's a shot on goal. And somehow Marshall sliding across is able to, I think, pin that puck against his body with his arm. Puck just sort of bounced onto a North Bay stick, and all of a sudden a real good scoring chance.
Yeah, another quick chance and a quick shot, and Marshall had to be real sharp on that one. He looks calm and composed early on here.
Face off this time to his left. Down to 7.5 minutes to go in the first period. No score in the game. Moses will come in to take the draw in place of Procession, and he promptly loses it. Artem Gonchar up the left side, skates it right into the zone. Couple of nice moves. Got 3 players on him, though, and can't do much with it. It'll go back of the North Bay net. Oh, and Coughlin just ran into his man, who ran into the goaltender, and that's going to draw a crowd.
Almost everyone getting involved here now as the Battalion went over after Chase Coughlin pretty quickly. Seen a couple players pair off, and it might take the officials a moment to sort this out.
Yeah, I think Coughlin's going to get a penalty. What kind of penalty it is remains to be seen, but he didn't hit the goaltender, but he bowling pinned the defenseman into the goaltender, and I think that's going to be at least a 2-minute minor, if not more.
That's going to be it. I thought there might be something for the retaliation there, but looks like Chase Coughlin will be the only player to go.
Yeah, it was a fairly controlled retaliation, to be frank. The Battalion didn't do anything crazy, I don't think, but...
Nothing crazy, and then I guess everyone kind of jumps in, and it starts to even out again, right?
Yeah. So they managed to hold on to the power play. It'll be their first of the game. North Bay and Sudbury both struggling on the power play in the early going. The Wolves had a good one very early in this game, and now we'll see what the Battalion could do with theirs, looking for the first goal of the hockey game.
Some familiar penalty killers out there for the Wolves. Of course, Rowan Henderson, Blake Clayton, and Trevor Odell, but the newcomer Liam Ladd's also on this kill.
Otzi, Amidovsky, and Wellenreiter up front for North Bay. Here's a shot coming now from the point. That one will be ripped wide. Bay controls, though. Greer gets it up, and it's shot in behind the net. Wolves being aggressive early on in this power play, but Wellenreiter controls. Back to the middle. It's a deflected pass that goes into the corner. Lads looks for it, and finally it's going to be Blake Clayton, who's able to find the loose puck and rip it down the ice with a wrist shot. Skating straight up the ice is Kent Greer. Wellenreiter now on the near side. His shot is blocked, and the Wolves will bring it in. Ethan Dean tried to get it through to a streaking Barahowski, who would have been in alone, but it hit a body. Battalion will now bring it into the Wolves' end. It's going to be stolen again by Dean, though. Some good work by Ethan Dean on the PK. He's on his wrong wing, fighting for it, but is able to backhand it in deep. And will, I'm sure, get some encouraging words from his coaching staff after a pretty good PK shift.
A pat on the back from assistant coach Andrew Desjardins there, and some real good work done by Ethan Dean along the boards against 3 Battalion players to win that and send it deep.
Puck goes back to the Wolves blue line. Battalion controlling. A little shot on net. Big pad save by Marshall. You could hear that one from all the way up here. Wasn't that hard of a shot, but it hit the pad perfect.
Quite a lot of bounce on that.
Cross on the near side. Shamar Moses tries to get it cross ice, top of the slot. Battalion player loses it. Now Moses takes a hit, but the puck stays in the zone. Back to the point. Moses with some room. Gets it across. And now a cross ice pass and a shot right on by Warren, as he had probably more time than he thought. He got it off quick, but he more or less just shot it right into Marshall's chest.
Yeah, Marshall had just enough time to get across and react and cover as much of the net as he could.
Good job by him to make the save. Battalion now out shooting the Wolves 7-6. 5:26 to go in period number 1. No score in the game, and 11 seconds still remaining in the North Bay power play.
See Finn Kearns on this kill. Interesting situation with Finn Kearns this year. Of course, he's signed with St. Andrews College, but also signed to the Wolves. So he's joining the team whenever he's available, and he'll be in town next week as well for the NOJ Showcase, which NOJHL Showcase, which St. Andrews is participating in this season.
Well, the Wolves happy to have him tonight. Played a few games last year and looked great the time he was in the lineup.
A big, strong, physical player.
That'll be it for the power play, but the Battalion control. Bronson Ride shoots it. It hits Provorov in the shoulder and ricochets up into the mesh. Down to 4:54 to go in this opening period. And looks like we're going to have a ice cleaning stoppage in play. So both teams will shuffle off to the bench. A pretty good hockey game so far. The Wolves probably carrying the majority of the play in the first half of this first period, and obviously they had a power play that they didn't score on but looked good in and got a little momentum off that, so they had some pretty good chances. And over the last few minutes it's been the other way. The Battalion have kind of come back, had a power play of their own that they didn't score on, but they've had a few better chances than they did in the first half. Overall, a pretty evenly played period, witnessed by the shots being 7-6 in favor of the Battalion.
And some very good goaltending at both ends. As you said, Mike McIver early on helped the Battalion stay in it and find their feet, and then Finn Marshall in these last few shifts and on that power play looking very sharp.
And he kind of kicks the legs up as he skates back to his crease, gets set for a face-off in the Sudbury zone. It'll come to his right. Session against Provorov, who's getting a boatload of ice time in the early going here. Obviously, we mentioned Kieran Walton back in the lineup for the Wolves. A huge presence that changes a lot of things for this Sudbury roster. Gives them that one guy that's experienced, highly touted, highly skilled, and someone who can lift them and be a game changer.
We've certainly seen him do that against the Battalion a few times in the past. We were speaking before the broadcast about the end-to-end overtime goal he scored in North Bay last year, and he's had a few of those moments against his division rivals.
There's Provorov now, 2-on-2 with Walton. Just inside the line, Walton snapped the pass. Here's Provorov now, right on the doorstep. The puck is loose. One save by McIver, and then it's shot out to the blue line, but kept in. Looks like Battalion are going to get a penalty here as Provorov's helmet is off. And indeed, it is going to be a Sudbury power play with 4:02 to go in period 1.
I think Walton was trying to get the puck straight through to the other side. It got a bit, it went off a skate, I believe, but just getting in that net area, it opened up that chance for Provorov almost immediately, and now the Wolves have drawn a penalty as a result.
Dynamic player, Vladimir Provorov, but he didn't really have a lot of space between him and the goaltender. The puck was very close and kind of tried to jam it or maybe stick handle a little bit around the pad to find an open side, but McIver, the experienced goaltender, who we've seen do amazing things in this building in the past, was equal to the task and just kind of stacked the pads against him.
Yeah, he's very strong down low. It's hard to beat him from in that close, that's for sure.
So a huge opportunity for the Wolves. Their second power play of the hockey game with 4:02 to go in a scoreless first period. And they would love to get this power play going, get a little momentum. With the younger team, if you can get the power play going, you can stay in and have a chance to gain points in a lot of hockey games. So they have the horses. Walton back makes a big difference. Nate Villeneuve, when he returns, will make a huge difference as well. But guys like Provorov, who's on the ice, Ferrand, Coughlin, and Gonchar, all are the beneficiaries of Walton rejoining the lineup.
Definitely. Kind of a veteran group out there right now, of course, with the exception of Provorov, but still a lot of guys who are having an extended audition for ice time with this team. And with some of these veterans coming back in, they're still getting the opportunity to, on a night like this, to show that they're ready to play with some of these big guys.
Walton to Coughlin, back to the point, Gonchar. As they control inside the zone. Gonchar in the middle at the blue line with a shot, and that one goes wide. Puck bouncing, it bounces over the stick of Walton, which allows Laird to clear the puck for the Battalion, and Gonchar will have to skate back and retrieve. Gonchar up the middle. Slowly, but stick handling around a defender, now drops it for Walton. Falls at the blue line, but will stay on side as he gets up. Wolves have to just shovel it in, allowing the Battalion to get control, and they will flip it out and down the ice. Blonda now for Sudbury. 47 seconds remaining in the Wolves' second power play of the game. Looking to break a scoreless tie. Barahowski flips it in on goal. McIver gets it to his D-man and right back out and down the ice.
Well, where the Wolves had a lot of time and a lot of pressure in the offensive zone on that first power play, they're struggling to set this one up a little bit.
And that pass is a little bit behind its intended receiver, and as a result, is turned around the other way quickly. Bennett behind his own net for Sudbury. He'll wind it up. Over his blue line, over the red line, flipping it in and chasing after it. Moses with a nice little backhand, though. Very alert play by the NHL drafted Shamar Moses, and he is able to help an outlet. Now the Wolves bring it back inside the zone. Kovan, he gets a shot on goal. The puck just kind of bounced in his feet all the way to the net. And then finally he was able to kind of whack it toward the goal without a lot of force, but a chance nonetheless. And he's battling for it with a defender all over his back, and that's going to draw another North Bay penalty. As Kovan really not in a dangerous position, his back to the goal and basically at the goal line. But he just couldn't break free of the defender who was all over him, and just a bit of a, I'll be honest, a bit of a weak call to some extent, but at the same time, the defender just needed to box him out and instead was draped all over him, so that's where it ends up.
Yeah, a little bit unnecessary, and another opportunity here now for a Wolves team that hasn't led in a game since that first game of the season against the Battalion to get a late one here in the period and maybe get some confidence going.
Well, they'll need to go back 200 feet to get that started, as the Battalion right off the draw able to slap it down the ice. Gonchar feels like he was just quarterbacking a power play, and now he's doing it again. I guess that's because that's actually what happened. Here's Walton to Coughlin. Into the zone, but quickly back out. So the Wolves looked so good on that first power play, like you mentioned, Ben, and they're really struggling to get control here. Ferrand will circle back, take his time, which is a smart play by a veteran player. Now flips it to Walton. Walton up to the blue line to Coughlin, into Walton. Tried to get it back across and lost the puck. His timing not probably where he wants it to be. And a 2-on-1 the other way now. A shot right on Marshall to save. And the Wolves are going to have a chance to skate it out. Down to 45 seconds remaining in the period. 1:06 to go in the power play. And the Battalion wrist it down the ice again. 36 seconds to go in this first period. No score. Blonda up ice with speed. Lost it momentarily. Gets it back, but can't gain control. Now it's going to be Kovan and boards out to Blonda. Puck bouncing. He does a good job to control it at the line. Still bouncing around. Chitteroni now flips it, bouncing still to Bennett, and it bounces onto a Battalion stick and out to center. 9 seconds to go. Barahowski over the blue line, down the left side, trying to take it to the net. It's flipped out front. Kovan, a shot! And it's underneath the goaltender, McIver. I thought it was going 5-hole and in, but somehow McIver was able to fall on it.
It really did look like the Wolves had him beaten there with some open space under the pads, but we even saw the red lights flash here in the arena briefly, but it looks like it stayed out and stayed under the Battalion netminder.
I guess that's what I saw, because I saw kind of a red light, but it wasn't the red light that would tell you it was a goal, and the puck wasn't in the net. That was my big clue, Ben.
That's usually the good indicator.
That was the big indicator. No one put their arms in the air, too. That'll work for you as well. So Wolves come close looking for a buzzer beater, but unable to put the puck in the net on their power play. They will go into period number 2 with still 24 seconds remaining on their man advantage. We'll do a quick recap of the first period and then turn the broadcast over for our intermission. There's not a whole lot to really talk about in terms of a first period recap, other than it's a scoreless tie. The shots are 8-8. Both teams had some decent chances, Ben, but I don't know if you would say an A+ grade quality scoring chance for either side.
Maybe not a lot of those, no, but certainly some good looks at the net. Maybe a couple plays that, like that last one, that didn't quite connect. But it'll be interesting to see the Wolves. They start the period with 24 seconds left on this power play, so a little time to work with that way. But it'll be interesting to see what the response is there. A lot of good stuff to build on, I would think, if you're the Wolves tonight, though.
Absolutely. 0-0 after the first period. We'll be back for the second period action here on the Wolves radio broadcast coming up in a few minutes.
Jules here at the blue line, joined by Paul for the Carpenters Union $10,000 shootout. Now there's $10K on the line. How do you feel about this shot?
I got this.
That's the confidence we need. So, one puck, one shot, with some cheers from the audience. There's $10,000 on the line. Whenever you're ready, my friend. It rolled. That's okay. We're all winners here. You're going home with 4 tickets to the Hockey Hall of Fame. And we're not done yet. Who won the Valley Towel? We also have
whether you're a city worker, sport in general labor, or construction, our expertise will equip you with seasoned professionals that align with your requirements. Talk to us today.
December 13th at Sudbury Community Arena. Get your tickets at starsonice.ca.
Hey fans, don't forget, it's time to play forward. Sudbury Wolves Sports and Entertainment in the YMCA. Right now, the estimated prize, $2,500. All in support of a great cause. Play it forward, 5050.com is the website. You play and the community wins, so do your part to get your 50-50 tickets tonight. You never know, you can't win without a ticket.
And welcome back to the Sudbury Wolves broadcast here from the Sudbury Community Arena. We are through one period of play, about to enter period number 2, and the score is, well, there isn't one. It's 0-0 through 20 minutes. The Wolves and their hated rivals from North Bay, the Battalion. I can tell you that we won't get too deep into the out-of-town scoreboard because we do have a game 35 seconds away. But what I will say is that there's no goals in any of the northern games. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds are in the second period, and it is 0-0 in Brampton between the Greyhounds and the Steelheads. So no score anywhere in the northern games. Pretty good period of play. Opening period between the Wolves and the Battalion. Chances both ways. Both goaltenders solid. Didn't need to be spectacular necessarily. A couple of power plays both ways. Some decent control, some decent chances, but nothing too tremendous. So we get started here with the Wolves still on the power play. 24 seconds to go. And Alex Ferran will take the draw. Tries to swing the puck off the boards to Walton, but it will go back into the Sudbury end. Wolves don't have much time to work. Blonda and Gonchar out on the power play this time. With only 24 seconds, you want to make sure you have 2D out there. And here we go. Wolves bring it into the zone. Blonda has the stick knocked out of his hands. Puck slides to the back boards. I didn't see a referee's arm go up, but Blonda gave the what for motion after getting the stick knocked right out.
Yeah, a little bit of emotion that he would have liked a penalty, but maybe it wasn't as much of a straight out slash as it would have been to require 2 minutes in the box for the North Bay player.
Yeah, you know when you're on a power play that was not necessarily an egregious situation, you're probably going to have to do something more severe than that to get another one, although you never know. Here's a shot from the point. That one's deflected, but the goaltender, McIver, able to corral it off his pad and into the glove, and will hold on with 28 seconds gone in period 2. Face off to McIver's right. Vladimir Provorov with Chitteroni and Walton. Looks like Walton may be lining up on the right side, although that may have just been because of the power or the face-off situation. Here's the Battalion now with a chance the other way. Puck slides into the pad of Finn Marshall, and the Wolves will bring it away. Chopped out to center now. Battalion's ride, grabs it, flips it ahead, but the Wolves player shoots it forward. That's Liam Lads, the newcomer.
It's a rare thing, but we did see Kieran Walton on the right side a few times last season, I recall, when he would share a line with Quentin Musty, who's playing on the left.
Yeah, looks like I'm wrong. He's actually playing the left side. He just lined up opposite on a offensive zone face-off. But yeah, I mean, both Chitteroni and Walton are left-hand shots playing the wing on the top line, so that's an experiment. You have to see some guys can do it. Some guys thrive at it. There's a shot by Inat Patsy and an easy glove save, but a save nonetheless by Finn Marshall.
You see with quite a few of the European wingers. In fact, Jan Kovan often plays the right side, or certainly did when he was playing over in Finland, and he's a left shot as well.
A lot of players like it because of the scoring opportunities, being on the wrong side. Even when you're at a standstill in front of the net, you're in a better position, and sometimes just breaking off the wing to your forehand down that side. If you're a left shot going down the right side, you can kind of break in. The problem is it's your own zone that's the hard part.
Right.
For a lot of players. Wolves will dump it in deep. Henderson on the boards. Sends it back of the net. Chase Coughlin in after it. Cycles it back to the point. Bit of a dangerous hit or push on Clayton right there. But Coughlin has his man tied up. Henderson flailing around inside the zone for the Wolves. It'll be kept in by Blonda to Odell. A wrist shot deflected, but it'll go off the glass. Coughlin now fires it back into the corner. Wolves with some pressure, although not chances here. There's a shot from the point. That one went through everybody, but hits the backboards. And now it looks as though Blake Clayton may get a penalty for goalie interference as the stick came out of the hands of McIver. And we get a bit of pushing and shoving down in the corner.
It's interesting. Clayton involved in the initial infraction, but not really in the scrum in the corner after, where it was Chase Coughlin that was in the center of that. Maybe a little bit of a sell job by the goaltender McIver there, but that's part of his job in that situation, to see what he can get out of it, and that will send Blake Clayton to the box here.
Yeah, the two incidents were separate in the sense that what happened with Clayton getting the penalty was on the goaltender, and then what drew the crowd in the corner was not that. It was actually Coughlin going in and giving his player a little bump along the boards as the whistle had gone.
Maybe an attempt by Coughlin to see if he could even up the sides with a bit of retaliation, which we've seen him do before.
Could well be, yeah. He's in that veteran state of being he's been a pest since he came here, and now he's an experienced pest, so you never know.
He's learned how to pick his spots pretty nicely, whereas sometimes he was on the other end of those in the past.
Yeah, in the early going in his career, but yeah, he's become an experienced player and knows the ropes. Battalion power play now, early stages of period number 2 in a scoreless hockey game. And they will control. Back to the point. Harper and his pass across on the far side is blasted off the glass and all the way out to center. And now a steal. Ethan Dean has a breakaway. Dean with a shot. And 2 pad saves by McIver, and he will keep the puck out and keep this game scoreless.
Dean showing in frustration there, but made a good follow-up to try to get an extra shot on goal there, but didn't have a lot of space to work with.
Warren cuts to the middle, pass across, and the puck will float in the goal. We have our first goal of the hockey game. The Battalion with a power play on a knuckleball shot that eludes goaltender Finn Marshall. 1-0 North Bay.
Seemed to completely take Finn Marshall by surprise there. We'll have to get a look at the replay because it really did seem to flutter off something. May have hit off the defenseman and gone in.
Shamar Moses, I believe, was the one who took the shot. We'll have to wait for the official scoring play, but either way, it's a power play goal for the Battalion. Probably one of the weakest chances that either team had on the power play that have happened, and it went in the net. Here's another chance, and another shot. Oh, and it's off the post. A wide open net for the North Bay player, Wellenreiter, and he rang it off the post. That one will haunt him, but a break for the Wolves. Now trailing 1-0. Hovan tries to get it to the net, but the Battalion will skate it away. Chipped out to center to Wellenreiter. And he breaks through his check. Backhand now on Marshall. Nice pad save as he slid across to his right.
2 golden chances now since the Battalion opened the scoring.
It's almost timeout time here for Coach Scott Barney, where the Wolves were playing a pretty solid game, and all of a sudden one cheap one goes in and they're losing their composure. Wellenreiter with a shot. Marshall makes the save. And Kearns is able to rip it off the boards and down the ice. North Bay player was trying to step on the ice and almost touch the puck as we get an offside. Would have been a breakaway, but it's offside at the Sudbury blue line. North Bay player was trying to step on the ice. The puck went by. Didn't hit him, I don't think, but the crowd reacted like it might have been too many men on the ice.
Maybe a timely whistle here, and just a chance for the Wolves to take a breath, because that last shift, a couple giveaways, a couple big chances, and it very easily could have been a 2-0 game.
Well, here comes Chitteroni now down the wing with a shot, tried to go 5-hole, and McIver was able to squeeze the pads together. Shamar Moses credited with the goal. He's the one that took the shot that floated in. So I guess if it hit anything, it was a Wolves player. Moses from Warren and Recession at 3:04.
I'd have to go back and look, but I see the power play, or see that goal one more time, but it did look like it's deflected off Liam Ladd's in front and fluttered in, because it certainly had a strange trajectory for just a regular shot.
Yeah, it was a little hard to follow as it went through bodies, but found the back of the net. Walton is going to flip it from the near side blue line deep into the zone, but the Battalion break it out pretty quickly. And we'll skate it into the Sudbury end. They get it back to the point. Kept in momentarily, puck bouncing at the Sudbury line, and it's flipped back in by Ride in deep. Here's Warren now. Out front, Callie scores. All alone in the slot. And Warren, who was all over the place on that shift, finds a loose puck behind the net, quickly slides it out front, and it's buried just as quickly by Ryder Callie.
Callie,
it's
of course.
2-0.
Callie, of course, was credited with the overtime goal here a couple weeks ago and snuck into the slot all by himself, completely unmarked by any of the Wolves, and made them pay for that. Tough spot to be in for Finn Marshall. Didn't get much opportunity to come out and challenge the shooter with how fast the play developed.
And we're back underway. Clayton in neutral ice. Drops it back to his D-man Gonchar. Puck is off a stick and out to center and now carried in by Potsy. And he loses it. Clayton will skate it up for Coughlin. Coughlin over the blue line. Chips it in and a shot on net by Henderson, and then they score. A loose puck is banged in by the Wolves. And after getting down 2-0 with a couple of quick ones here in the second period, Blake Clayton connects for Sudbury and gets them on the board. A huge goal for Sudbury to not lose control of this game.
We talked about bodies to the net and pucks to the net, didn't we? Initial drive by Rowan Henderson turned aside, and then Blake Clayton right there to jam it home. Exactly what the Wolves needed in this moment, and maybe a wise decision to go back to that line after the Wolves found themselves in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, you know what you get from that line of Clayton, Henderson, and Coughlin? They always work. They'll get the puck to the net. Not big-time scorers necessarily, but guys who do have a bit of a touch and who are going to work for it. And that's exactly what happened there. So the Wolves on the board, down 2-1, 14:25 to go in period 2, and we have a brand new hockey game.
Probably the line the coaches have used the most so far this season. You can see why they like them together.
Yeah, I like him as a starting line as well, just to kind of give you a little bit of momentum. Moses around his man into the Sudbury zone, but the Wolves pick up on that and clear it quickly. And now Moses has it again. Circling at the blue line, across ice to Bronson Ride. Ride's kind of bumped off the puck by Coughlin, then ridden into the boards by Coughlin, but the puck doesn't come out. Odell, reaching for procession, follows him out to the blue line, and the puck is sent in down low. Moses tied up on the boards by Coughlin. And now a North Bay player falls, and the bench reacts, but no call on the play. Puck just jammed in on the far boards inside the Wolves zone, and finally the Stripes will whistle it down. 13:25 remaining in period 2. It's a 2-1 North Bay lead. Goals by Shamar Moses, his first, Ryder Callie's third for North Bay. Those goals come 1 minute and 59 seconds apart. And then Blake Clayton getting the Wolves on the board, his first of the season, from Henderson and Coughlin at 5:36, just 33 seconds after the goal by Callie.
And the shots have stayed even as they've been much of this way in this period, 13-13.
So obviously a big bounce back goal. The Wolves really needed to stop that North Bay momentum, and like you said, great line to put out there, the guys that are going to work, and somehow Clayton finds a way to bang it in.
And that's something they had trouble finding on that road trip. Of course, shutout in Windsor, but then the games too in Sarnia and then in Brantford. Didn't really get that one back until later in the game, and when momentum is kind of pendulum was swung a little too far the other way by that time. So this certainly gives them some jump and some spark here.
So a different forward line for the Wolves here. You've got Ferrandis taking the draw, Koven and Provorov out there with him. We'll see if that's just a shift or if that's an experiment that Coach Barney wants to stick with. Battalion inside the zone, now side of the net, put out front, and a pad save by Finn Marshall. And now the puck will be flipped out to center. Here comes Koven. down the left side. Tries to go around his man, around the net, looking to the point. Cross to Blonda for Yules, off the post. It was deflected in front, and it rings off the pipe.
Looked like that one was going straight for the corner, too.
Now back to the point. Blonda lost his footing, was able to stop it with his skate, but he was falling backwards, and that allows the Battalion to bring it out. Wellenreiter takes a hit along the boards. Kovan breaks it out. In the skates of Ferran, but he's able to control it. Now fires it in deep. In back of the net. McIver leaves it there for his defender. And the Battalion will get it up to center. And we flipped in deep as North Bay makes some changes. And here come the Wolves. Kearns up to Chitteroni with a nice pass at center. But he can't control it, and that puts Bennett offside. Looks like Chitteroni, Walton, and Bennett are the next lineup after the new combination that we saw earlier. Walton now knocks it in back behind the goal line. Chitteroni digging for it there. Bennett goes looking for it. Now Walton will pick it up. And his pass to the point hops over Yule's stick and all the way down the ice. Yules rips it up to center. Braden Bennett, a young rookie for the Wolves, lost the puck at the blue line. Battalion turn it up ice. Puck is right in the slot, free, and a chance there for Warren, who is a buzzsaw out there for the Battalion.
That one developed quickly, but became a dangerous scoring opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. Bennett is on the ice, but Wolves able to control now. Here comes Walt for Chitteroni. Pushed into the corner by the Battalion, and it's going to be Warren who picks it up. Up to center. Battalion bring it in. Goes back to Warren. Down the right side. He'll flip it out front, but it's off the skate, allowing the Wolves now to break it out. Here comes Barahowski. Drop pass for Walton. Look for Barahowski on the give and go. Lost it at first, but picks it up, and now it's off the stick and all the way down the ice. Will the goalie come out and get it? He finally does, but he was a little late, and that was a bit dangerous. Now a Battalion chance. Amidovsky over to Potsy. His shot doesn't get through.
And then a collision after the fact.
A giveaway by the Wolves. Barahowski gives it away, and here's a shot on net. Marshall able to corral it as several players fall in the crease. And just a bad giveaway there by the Wolves, and creating a pretty good scoring chance for North Bay.
Dangerous for sure, and then not a lot of resistance as the North Bay player walked to the net there.
Half a hockey game to go, 10:24 remaining in the second period. It's 2-1 in favor of the Battalion. All the scoring here in the second period. 2 for the Battalion to jump out to a 2-0 lead, and a Blake Clayton goal to get the Wolves back in.
We talked about that chance being dangerous when Marshall came out to play the puck. It was also dangerous in that it ended up in a collision between Gonchar and his goaltender there that resulted in them getting tangled up, but luckily no one was any the worse for wear.
Face off to the left of Marshall in the Sudbury net. Battalion will put it on goal, but it's an easy one for Marshall to steer aside. Flipped up now for Henderson. Henderson down the right side. His wrong wing. Takes it on the backhand in behind the net. Gets roughed up there, but the puck follows him. And now he'll get it to Clayton, who fires it back in behind the goal. North Bay defense able to control, and now up to Dubrovtsev. He will bring it into the Sudbury zone. Pass across on the far side to Potsy, but he couldn't control it, so just shoots it back to the blue line. And now a wrist shot blocked by Henderson. Lost his stick, and the arm comes up. And I think that may be a penalty for Kapagaritis, the North Bay defenseman, who is shaking his head and waving his arms as if to say, "Are you serious?" And the truth is, they are. They are. Indeed, they are.
I'm not sure what I think about that call. Really, it looked more like Henderson lost his stick than anything. Threw up the arms, definitely looking for a call, and he got it. So yet another power play opportunity for the Wolves here.
Either way, the Wolves are happy to have another chance on the power play. The last couple haven't looked great. The first one was really good. didn't score on it, but it was still good. And so we'll see what they can accomplish here. North Bay off the draw, though, corrals the puck and slides it down the ice. And Artem Gonchar will go back for it. With a nice move. Kid can stick handle the puck in slow motion around people. It's impressive to watch. But then he gave it away, so the Battalion are going to flip it down the ice. Gonchar again turns and skates backwards towards center ice. Now gives to Walton, who misses his man, and that's going to be an icing call against Sudbury. And Kieran Walton shakes his head. We know Kieran Walton will be better than that most of the season, but I think in fairness to him, he's just back from an injury that was sustained in his NHL training camp, and it's obviously going to take him a little bit of time to kind of readjust to where he is. And I think his team leading totals from last year suggest that he's probably going to do pretty good offensively.
Oh, for sure. So, he's probably still getting that timing back a little bit, and maybe even a little bit of the conditioning too, after not skating a whole lot while being in protocol.
And a lot of new teammates. This isn't a power play he was used to last year, for sure.
Feeling things out, definitely.
Absolutely. Puck is ripped around the boards. Gonchar will have to go after it. And a couple of players now will fight for it. Wolves keep it in. Provorov slides it to Coughlin nicely. Coughlin out in front, and it goes right through the crease, but out the other side. Provorov now on the left point. Across for Walton. A nice little pass to Coughlin in front. He redirected, but it went up over the net.
Coughlin does have a nice tip, and that's twice now we've seen him just miss on a couple of those opportunities.
Player changing in his offside, so Bennett has to wait. Now he'll skate into the zone, but he tries to do a little too much and loses it. And now it's out and down the ice with 25 seconds remaining in the power play. Wanda drops it back behind the net. Chitteroni will go fetch in the corner now as it slides over there. Drop to Blonda, straight up the middle. Blonda. Tail end of a Sudbury power play, down 2-1 here in the later stages of period 2. Five players battling in the corner. Out front, Chitteroni was all alone in front of the net. How he got that puck out of a scrum in the corner is beyond me, but he just had no room to do anything. Now he has a shot from the doorstep, but it's stopped. And the Battalion will get it out over the line. Blonda circling, controlling, looking for an outlet. Drops to Lads, who tried to get it back to Blonda, but the pass didn't connect. And that'll allow the Battalion to keep it in the zone. Wellenreiter's alone in front of the net. And now there's going to be a penalty against the Wolves. Looks like a tripping call against Sudbury, and Hudson Chitteroni will head to the sin bin. 6:53 remaining in period 2, and a 2-1 North Bay lead as the visitors have a chance now to build on that.
North Bay, of course, did score on their first power play of the game, and they've looked dangerous at times where they've moved the puck around in this one.
Harper, the defenseman, takes it in deep. It'll go back to the point where Warren is situated, and now it's Callie with a shot right on, and a nice stop there by Marshall, who is square to the puck. Imagine Callie, who has turned into a bit of a sniper here in the early going. Young player with a pretty good opportunity right at the side of the net, but he fired it right into the goaltender's chest. Just 11 seconds burned on the power play. Harper will keep it in off the draw. Battalion control. Callie circles at the goal line to Warren. Warren looking in the middle, tries to get it across, but it's picked off by Clayton, and he backhands it out to center. Now Henderson picks up a loose puck. Henderson tries to go around his man. Here's Clayton with a shot, deflected, and it'll go off the glass. Both those forwards change. Dean and Barahowski over the boards on the PK for Sudbury. Harper drops it back, and it's going to be Shamar Moses up the middle. into the Sudbury zone. Cross to Warren on the right point. Into the middle now for Harper on the blue line. And across to Moses. His shot doesn't get through. And Lads will slap at it, but it bounces off Shamar Moses. And now Procession tried to get it through to a streaking Warren, but the Wolves intercept and flip it down the ice. 51 seconds to go in the power play.
Some nice hand-eye coordination by Daniel Berahowski to knock that out of the air and send it down the ice.
Harper sends it up. Warren takes a bump or push by Henderson. Cross to Greer on the right point. And back to the point. Vaughn. Over to Wellenreiter and down low to Procession. Back to Wellenreiter and back to Procession behind the goal line. Comes out front trying to squeeze through the crease, but he lost it and the Wolves clear. And the penalty is over. Oh, sorry, it's 14 seconds left. Puck inside the Sudbury zone. Controlled now by the Battalion. We'll come across to Papagoritis. And a wrist shot right on. And a stop here with no time left now. The Wolves just need to get it out as the penalty is over.
I believe Rowan Henderson and Blake Clayton were out there for every second of that penalty kill.
There's a chance for Chitteroni. Couldn't get a shot away, and he cross-checks his man, and the Battalion will go right back to the power play. A delayed call here. Well, there's been some interesting calls both ways. I'll say this, probably even overall. There's been some cheapies on North Bay, and I think that was a bit of a cheap one on Chitteroni. He kind of pushed his man. Not sure why he did that, which is probably why it gets called, but at the same time, it's kind of a weak one in front of the net. But it could have created a scoring opportunity for Sudbury, and maybe that's the point.
Yeah, it almost looked like a little bit of a shove of frustration for Hudson Chitteroni there. He's had a couple of nice scoring chances that he's sort of whipped on early, so I don't know if that factors in here, but like you said, maybe a bit of a cheap call, but also one that in the offensive zone that maybe puts your team in a bit of a tough spot here now.
Well, the Wolves just got through one, killing off another North Bay power play, and now with 4:26 to go in the second, and the Battalion leading 2-1, like you said, a tough spot for Scott Barney's crew. They need to kill another one here and try to find some momentum at the end of this second period.
Timely media timeout here too, because as we said earlier, a couple of the Wolves' top penalty killers spent a lot of time on the ice just now killing a penalty, so at least they get a chance to take a breath a little bit during that break.
And Marshall taking his time, gliding slowly back into the crease at the end of that break.
A few more seconds there, sure.
And we will get a face-off to his left. Procession against Clayton, who, like you said, was out on the ice for most of the last penalty kill and right back out doing his job again, along with Rowan Henderson. And they, without question, have been a threat in their OHL career to put one in the other net on a PK. So keep an eye on that. Number one job, though, is to stop North Bay from scoring, and they control. Puck out front, Clayton able to get it off on the backhand and sends it down the ice. Goaltender McIver plays it right up to Moses. Moses over the blue line. Callie now on the far side, cross to the blue line, and a smart play there by Greer as he would have been intercepted to go cross ice. And now the puck's deflected back to the blue line. Cross to Moses. Moses on that far side, kind of in the Ovechkin spot, has a right shot on the left side, but he lost the puck. North Bay gets it right back though. Callie off the skate of Procession. Dean with a chance to get at it. And now Lads for Sudbury, acquired this week from Peterborough, trying to tie it up on the boards. North Bay will control though. Greer on the right point. Dean doing some good work but can't get it out. And there's a shot that's deflected. And we'll go up into the mesh and we'll get a stoppage in play with 56 seconds remaining in this second period.
A moment ago we saw Trevor Odell drop to the ice to cut off a pass that was headed for an open man in front. He ended up blocking it with his helmet and deflected it away, and then went for the ice for a change, but North Bay came back so fast he didn't get a chance to get to the bench. He had to go right back on the kill again, but now he's finally getting a rest.
Kearns and Yules out there on the back end for Sudbury on the PK, and it's Clayton and I don't know what it was. I thought it was Ferran. He stepped over the boards but must have gone back. Now it's Henderson. And North Bay will control off the draw. Harper, cross ice, into the middle now, and across to the defenseman Capagradillas, and he just couldn't get the shot off. Went wide. Cross ice. Bay controlling. Wolves doing a good job of keeping them to the outside, and now they get a steal, and Henderson will fire it down. He heads slowly to the bench. I think 2 straight PKs where they were on a lot of it. He and Clayton kind of ran out of gas. So now it's going to be Kovan and Ferrand with just 11 seconds to go in the power play, and they get it out and down as Kovan shoots it down. Ferrand is the first one there. The goaltender decides not to go in the corner, so Ferrand gets to it, ties it up on the end boards, looks to the point to Gonchar, cross ice for Blonda, on net, and it's a save on the blocker. Might have gone wide had it gotten through, but stopped by the blocker of the goaltender McIver. And now they pin it on the back boards as we get close to the 2-minute warning. I know, wrong sport, right, Ben? But, you know, football is back. As we get a 3-on-2 the other way now. Wellenreiter for the Battalion. Tried to get it across to Amadovsky. Hits a skate. Ferran controls, gets it to Blonda, and he will look to outlet. All the way up to center for Walton. Walton's pass off a stick, gets it back, and fires it in deep. McIver stops it in back of the North Bay goal, and the Battalion will control.
Wolves get through another penalty kill, probably saying, discipline now, guys. Give us a break here.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's go to the attack.
And they will look to do that with Gonchar, who skates it up the middle, turns back and makes the pass like as if the Wolves were on the power play, and that didn't work as he tried to get it to Blonda. Now Blonda's roughed up going in to the backboards to pick up a puck in his zone, kicks it up, and the Battalion will control it on the boards. Back to the blue line and fired in deep. A spinorama shot there by Long, but it doesn't get to the net. Battalion with a bit of pressure here in the zone, although not really getting it to the front of the net so far. And they will keep it in at the blue line as the Wolves had a chance, couldn't get it out. Provorov now slides it in front of his own net to Gonchar. Gonchar up to Walton, and Walton will break it down the wing. 2-on-4 though with Coughlin, and that'll be turned up the other way. Oh, it's stolen. Stolen by Coughlin, but then he gives it up.
Bouncing all around at the blue line there.
Some choppy play here. Blonda slides it up for Walton at center. Gets it across to Lads, who runs it off Coughlin's skate into the zone. But the Battalion are able to turn it back up quickly. Wolves just can't get in on the forecheck, and the puck is turned up fast. And that's going to do it for the second period, as we have a little bit of back and forth choppy play without chances, and we ride out the end of period number 2. So 2-1 after 2 periods of play, as the Battalion score twice before the Wolves get one back. Ben, obviously that one goal for the Wolves was huge, but they're going to need at least one more and maybe 2 to try to win this hockey game.
Absolutely, and it's tough to get into sort of any kind of a rhythm when you're spending that much time on the kill as they did there. Not that it was necessarily a lot of undisciplined play, but kind of back-to-back penalty kills, and there's not a lot of flow to the game when that happens. So it makes things a little tough to settle in, especially for the guys who aren't getting on the ice much in those situations.
Absolutely. 2-1 Battalion lead after 40 minutes. We'll be back with the last 20, or perhaps more, coming up shortly. You're listening to the Wolves radio broadcast. We will return in 17 and a half minutes.
Jules here at center ice, joined by
The Stars on Ice Holiday Tour is coming to Sudbury. With skating icon Elvis Stoico, Olympic medalist Caitlin Osmond, Olympic gold medalist Ekaterina Gordieva, and a cast of world-class skaters. Stars on Ice on a special holiday performance. One night only, December 13th at Sudbury Community Arena. Get your tickets at starsonice.ca.
Whether you're seeking recruitment support in general labor or construction, our expertise will equip you with seasoned professionals that align with your requirements. Talk to us today.
The business communications level is a lot more like send or receive text message from your business level. The Salesforce Business Communications Platform.
Fans, it's your last chance to get your 50-50 tickets. Play it forward. Don't forget, YMCA teaming up for this great initiative. Check out playitforward5050.com. Win yourself some cash. Projected prize now $3,200. What will you do with that? Fans, get ready. Third period. Here they come. Your Sudbury Wolves.
Good evening and welcome back to the Sudbury Community Arena. Jeff Giffen along with Ben Leeson for tonight's broadcast. The Wolves and their northern rivals, the North Bay Battalion, and through 40 minutes it is a 2-1 lead for the visitors, the North Bay Battalion. No scoring in the first, and the Battalion would jump on the board with two early ones in period number 2. The first on a power play, Shamar Moses with his first of the season at the 3:04 mark from Cam Warren and Ethan Procession, and then Ryder Cali with what stands as the go-ahead goal at this point. Cam Warren and Bronson Ride with the assists on that one, coming just a minute 59 after the first North Bay goal to make it 2-0 at the 5:03 mark. And then just 32 seconds after that, Blake Clayton with a huge goal to get the Wolves back in to stop that North Bay momentum. His first of the season from Rowan Henderson and Chase Coughlin as that whole line gets in on the action. And Ben, the Wolves obviously need to find their scoring touch here in period 3.
Yeah, it hasn't been for lack of looks at the net or power play opportunities. Certainly, it's, you mentioned all that action happening in the first 5.5 minutes or so of the second. Lots of man advantage chances for both teams afterward, but no one putting the puck in the net. But the Wolves, one of the things they really have to be careful of here is the giveaways, the unforced errors that have led to some of these opportunities.
We are underway. Battalion with the puck inside the Sudbury zone. It's backhanded off some bodies in front of the Sudbury net. Clayton back there for it. He'll use the end boards to bank it over to Luca Blonda. Looking cross ice for Coughlin, but misses him, and that'll be an icing, and puck will get sent back 200 feet in front of the Sudbury net.
The Sudbury coach is going back to a familiar starting trio of Henderson, Clayton, and Chase Coughlin once again, and looking to Luca Blonda with Trevor Odell on defense.
And off the draw, it goes back to Blonda, who will use the boards to get it out to Coughlin. Chips it to center, but onto a North Bay stick, and now the Battalion turn it back the other way. Shot from the far side boards right on. Stick save by Marshall. Battalion will hold on for the moment, but now the Wolves are going to control. Jan Kovan over center, up ahead to Ferran on the right side. He'll chip it in along the boards. Doesn't get it too far, though. Now we have a scrum in the corner. It's flicked out front, and quickly Kovan gets it to the net. Didn't take long with the puck there. Chopped it on net, but the veteran McIver able to make an easy save, and he will hold on for a face-off deep in the North Bay zone.
Wolves expecting a good season from their import forward from Slovakia. Took a year longer to get him than they had hoped, but they hope he can make the adjustment here quickly to North America and become a pretty regular contributor.
Shot bounces in front of the North Bay net. And now on the end boards, it's going to be Ride. He can't control, though. Kovan gets to him, finds the puck to Walton. Walton, top of the slot, quick shot, rebound. Oh, and another great save by McIver. All the way back to the point now. Ladd's on net. And it'll be stopped by McIver, who lost the handle momentarily but was able to corral it and hold on. 2 really good chances by the Wolves right there.
Great work by Walton to hang on to that puck under pressure and make something happen with it. But Ferrand with a hint of a head shake there. He knew he had some time and space. And, credit to McIver, though. He made an athletic play and made a stop.
A good sign for the Wolves here early, getting a couple of chances like that. North Bay will break it out, though, into the Sudbury end. Callie kind of fanned on his pass, but it went to his teammate Warren. Back to the point. Slid toward the net, goes wide. Callie back looking for Ride, doesn't get it there. And now Walton is able to stick handle around his man, but loses the puck at center. Back the other way, Parker Vaughn. Vaughn inside the Sudbury zone. The North Bay Battalion will keep it in, but they're going off in a line change, which gives Barahowski all kinds of time. Gets it to Yules, back to Barahowski, deflects to the blue line, gloved down by Ride. A couple of players now battling right at the blue line on the near side at the North Bay line. Provorov to an open area, easily picked up now by the Battalion and dumped in deep, and North Bay will be quite content to do that often here on the road with a 2-1 lead early in the third. Kearns around on the boards for Chitteroni. Kind of put it back in the middle, and the Battalion will grab the puck. Wellenreiter cross ice now. Here's a shot on goal, and it went wide. Battalion will get another chance. Puck bouncing through the slot off the stick of Marshall. Odell now having a hard time controlling it in front of his net. Gets it to the side boards, but the Battalion will keep it in. There's a backhand shot that flutters in. It was deflected by Odell, and lucky for him, he deflected it, but kind of stopped its motion at the same time, and Marshall able to hold on.
Yeah, we see some pretty tense moments there in the Wolves' end, and it was only a moment earlier they had firm control, but one errant sort of backhand pass results in some pressure and a couple good scoring opportunities for North Bay.
Face off to Marshall's right, 16:44 remaining in the third, 2-1 North Bay. Shots now 22-19 for the Battalion. The only other home game for the Wolves this season was an overtime loss to these same Battalion. And they're looking to avenge that, but down a goal here early in the third. Ride at the blue line, lost it to Henderson. He breaks in, he's by himself. Will get a shot on goal, though it went through or under McIver, but he's able to squeeze the pad and hold the puck under him.
Looked like it had rolled away on Henderson, but somehow he managed to get the tip of the stick back on it and actually got a little snap on that shot.
And maybe a bit of a screen as well for McIver, but he was able to hold on. Right back over the boards, it's Ferrand, Covan, and Walton.
Some real size on this line. I think everyone's at least 6'3", and of course Walton tops out closer to 6'6".
Well, the Wolves won the draw, but they won it to an open D spot, and it rolls over the blue line. Shot back in by Sudbury. Covan going to the end boards, hits his man there. Ferrand looking out front, but gives it away, and it'll be a Battalion 3-on-2 the other way. The captain procession across, and a shot, and a nice pad save by Marshall. Ferrand for Sudbury. Flicks it around on the far side. Shamar Moses will pick it up there and gets it in back of the net. Wolves have a chance to clear, but Walton flicks it up, and it's gloved down by the Battalion, who keep it in at the blue line. Shot by Moses right on. Big pad save by Finn Marshall. Wolves need to get this puck out. Too much time in the zone. Starting to feel dangerous. Finally, Walton will skate it up to the blue line and over. And flicks it in deep, heads off on a change. Bronson Ride, the big man for the Battalion. Gets it up ahead, and it'll be flicked in by Dubrovtsev. Puck on the far side, in the corner. Brady Smith tying his man up for Sudbury. Lads gets it up to the blue line, and Henderson is able to shovel it out, but controlled quickly. Kapagoridis for North Bay, slides it in deep. And now Clayton will pick up a loose puck. Off the end boards to the near side for Artem Gonchar, who skates it up over the blue line. Gonchar to the top of the circle, and a quick shot right on. Maybe surprised McIver a little bit, but he was square to the puck, and it hit him right in the chest.
Nice little rush by Artem Gonchar through traffic that time, and fought off a check to get a pretty good shot off on McIver. We've seen him take a slower approach a couple times with mixed results, but that time he opted for speed, and he made something out of it.
You can see the talent with some of these players, newcomers to the Wolves, Gonchar, Vladimir Provorov, Jan Kovan. You can see it. It's new to them. They're in a new country, new league, a lot of new situations for them. They're inexperienced at this level, but they're talented. It's going to take some time, but you can see that the puppy has big paws.
Especially Gonchar and Kovan, with the amount of time they spent on the big European ice, right? I mean, they'll tell you how it feels like everything's on top of you so fast and you have to react so quickly at this level, and it really does change the game for them. It requires an adjustment.
Puck chopped in by the Battalion. Lads will pick it up for Sudbury. Veteran defenseman acquired from Peterborough this week. Off to Bennett. Bennett tries to get a shot on net. Hits a leg. And the Battalion will skate it out. Left wing by Cali. Takes a shot on goal. Blocked nicely by Marshall. Both goaltenders have been solid in this game. Here's Cam Warren with a shot that he was looking for the deflection on the far side, but it didn't get through. Now ride to an open wing. Warren will pick it up. Cam Warren with a shot into a crowd, and it goes to the far boards. Italian with a bit of pressure here, but now the Wolves will break it out. Chitteroni trying to catch up at the end of a shift is Ethan Dean. To Bennett, his shot wide of the net. He chops at it at the side of the goal. Now gets roughed up back there with 4 Battalion on top of him, and they will flick it down the ice. This should be icing, and it will be. 13-18 to go in the third period. 2-1 North Bay leads. They're out shooting the Wolves 26-21. Sudbury needing that equalizer here in the third period.
Brayden Bennett doing something that coaches like to see, especially from a young guy, stopping on that puck and chopping at it. He did get it loose, of course. He got into a bit of a numbers game with 4 Battalion behind the net, as you said, but was able to knock it loose and potentially get some more time in the offensive zone with that. Coaches hate it when you get your one shot and just circle away, right? So good to see a young guy doing that.
And not admiring it, going in to see what happens with any kind of a rebound, and got a little bit of a chance, kind of side of the net, and McIver was there and solid against the post, but at least he was there sniffing around for some sort of opportunity. So an ice cleaning, and we're back to live action as they head to the face-off dot to the right of Mike McIver in the North Bay net. Kind of a veteran line here with Walton, Ferrand, and then Kovan, who's not a veteran to this league, but a highly touted young player. We'll get Yules and Kearns on the point on this shift for the Wolves. In to take the face-off. Player I'd really like tonight would be one of my 3 stars, I would think, if I was picking, would be Cam Warren. There's a shot from Walton, right on, and stopped and steered into the corner by McIver.
Warren's played well. Seems like he's been all over the ice.
A lot of jump. And I think 2 assists, if I remember correctly. So here's Kearns in his zone, drops and leaves for Yules. Yules to Walton, and Walton will spin up ice. Here he goes. The big man over the blue line into the North Bay zone. Takes it to the end boards. Ferrand will pick it up there, looking for someone to outlet to. Kearns is going to chop it off a body, but now it's out to center. And North Bay's Laird will bring it into the zone, one-on-one. Now Walton with a bit of a chance at the blue line as he reached out that long one-handed reach to try to corral the puck. Might have had a bit of a break, although he had no real motion forward. And the puck eluded him. Now he's going to wrist it in deep and head off on a change. Italian out to center. Picked up there by Henderson. Henderson over the blue line, lost the puck, and the Battalion will skate it out. Pass across now to a streaking Blake Clayton. Takes it toward the net. Slides it there. Ride will pick it up in the corner and just kind of hold on for now and is able to flick it out to his forward who will dump it in deep. That's Wellenreiter. 11:49 remaining in period number 3. A 2-1 North Bay lead. The Wolves need one to get back in this. Battalion controlling inside their zone. Passed out to center. Here's a 2-on-1 opportunity. Flicked across and a beautiful save. Finn Marshall sliding across nicely as Pronin took the pass, a nice little sauce pass across, and he flicked it at the net. But as I say, Marshall was able to slide across, square up, and corral that puck.
Nice pass for sure, but Finn Marshall really moved well with that play. His puck tracking ability does certainly seem to be one of his strengths, and he's shown that tonight. He's stayed square to the puck whenever it's been moving across in front of him.
North Bay captain Procession wins the draw, but there's a shot off the leg, and now the Wolves will bring it out. Chitteroni skates through the middle, takes a shot in the slot. He also hits a leg, and they'll battle in the corner. Barahowski gets run into the boards. Just a grinding battle in the corner for a loose puck, and finally the Battalion skated out. Here comes Shamar Moses, poke checked, and the puck on a Wolves stick. Artem Gonchar for Chitteroni. He'll go up again into the North Bay zone, stopping on the boards, tied up there, reaching for it with one hand. Barahowski now runs his man into the boards. Puck comes to the blue line, not out for the moment, but Moses controls. And now Ride loses it to Kovan. Puck out over the blue line. Wolves will have to tag up. Moses flips it inside his zone across to Ride. Ride to his defense partner. And quickly up ice and deflected in deep behind the goal of the Sudbury Wolves goaltender, Finn Marshall. Game getting a little sleepy with which North Bay will love, given that they have that 1-goal lead, just trying to hang on here. Ride over center, dumps it in deep. Marshall again will corral, gives to Smith.
They'll try not to overcommit unless they get a clear opportunity.
I mean, the Wolves in the early going here, obviously Walton back gives them more of a threat, but in the early going have struggled to score, and so North Bay knows that, and they're going to play a pretty defensive style here in the final half of the third period. Line at Patsy over the blue line into the zone. North Bay circling to the left of Marshall. A shot on net by Dubratsev, and it's stopped by Marshall, but the Battalion get the puck back. Amadovsky to Patsy. He's alone. A shot off the post. Marshall trying to get back to the other side, but the Battalion just running around here right now with the puck. Shot deflected in front. North Bay will control again. Clayton gets that arm out. He's got to be careful he doesn't get called. Wolves cannot afford a penalty here with 8:50 to go.
Yeah, Patsy kind of saw the seas part for him when the Wolves defenseman chased his man out a little too far to the blue line.
Enright at the Sudbury line, flicking it in deep. Odell has it in his feet, manages to get it to Henderson. Now Henderson with a nice outlet for Braden Bennett. Bennett, some speed over the blue line, drops to Coughlin. Coughlin through bodies, but wide of the net by about 7 or 8 feet. And now it's Blonda. Blonda off the boards at center to Coughlin. Coughlin to Henderson, but it eludes him and will go deep into the North Bay zone. Bennett on the forecheck. Can't catch up to Enright. The Battalion will skate it out of their zone. Callie on the near side. Callie over the Wolves blue line. A nice move around one defender. And now backhands it in behind the Sudbury net. Coughlin flicks it out to center. No further. Kapagoridis able to get it up to his forward, and now back in the Sudbury end. Wolves struggling to get any kind of momentum here down a goal in the third period. Battalion back the other way. A backhand off a skate. Going to be tied up there by the Wolves deep in their zone. As Lads recognizes that his team is kind of running out of gas here on this shift. Nice play there by Provorov to kick it off his skate on an outlet pass. Barahowski now takes it toward the net, chops it, and just threw the crease in the air. And now a bad angle shot on the near side from Liam Lads, who had stepped in, and it's gloved in the crease in the air by the goaltender McIver, and we'll have a face-off with 7:14 to go in period 3, and the Wolves trailing the Battalion 2-1.
We see some of that sneaky skill from Vladimir Provorov as he kicks the puck to himself and makes a pass that results in a scoring opportunity, but the Wolves really do need to find a way to sustain some pressure on offense on the forecheck.
Kovan behind the net, circling, looking for someone to go to. Ferran's tied up. Kovan gets dropped behind the net. Now Ferran will pick it up. Looks to the blue line. Gets it there. Gonchar struggling to take it deeper. And now it's punched in by Ferran. That may be offside. No, maybe not. They wave it off. Here's a chance for the Wolves. A shot right on. The rebound was there for Kovan, but he was tied up. Gonchar pinching in now. Ties his man up on the boards. Wolves with a little bit of pressure here, but now Bronson Ride's going to pick it up and flip it up to center. Long to Laird. Laird flips back, and it's intercepted by the Wolves. They'll just shoot it out to center ice. And now Ride is going to drop it right back into the zone. Ride and Ferran having some words at center ice. Nothing will come of it as Ferran was heading off on a change. Clayton to the blue line, not out. Streaking in, and a shot right on, but it's high and off the glass, and now the Wolves come out. Coughlin flicking it into the zone. Quickly, Harper turns it the other way. Clayton lifts a stick, gets it to Coughlin. Coughlin for Henderson. Henderson over the blue line. Henderson looks to the net, a shot right on, and easily gloved off the stick and into the glove by McIver. And we will get a stoppage in play. Time for an ice cleaning with 5:46 to go. A 2-1 North Bay lead. The Wolves have just had some trouble trying to create offense. I've had the odd chance here and there, probably more so on rebounds than grade A scoring chances from the slot or on 2-on-1s and breakaways, that type of thing. So that has to be the mission here with under 6 minutes to go in the third. Is I'm sure as they take this ice cleaning break, Scott Barney, the Wolves coach, has to be saying, you know, we got to find a way to get pucks to the net. We're doing that, but we need more traffic there. Not necessarily to screen the goalie, although that's obviously one benefit. But the other thing is you got to pounce on a rebound. You got to find a way to get a stick on a rebound, a stick tipping a puck that McIver doesn't have time to react to. That's the kind of goal that's going to tie this game. Here we go. Face off to the left of McIver. It'll be Clayton and Procession, the Anaheim Ducks prospect, captain of the North Bay Battalion. And he wins it. Puck in the corner, flicked up to the blue line. Yules off the skate, kept it in for the moment, but now it's going to come over the line.
Clayton seems to be caught up here in the face as he heads off.
And the referee's arm appears to be up. He's looking for blood, so that may be a high sticking call. The back referee didn't realize he had called it. And it looks like is it Procession? Yeah, they're pointing at the captain to head to the box.
It did appear to be him who was tangled up with Clayton shortly after that face-off. He's pleading his case, but...
maybe one of those situations. We may get a replay here in the rink. Procession has it in front. I don't know if this is the play because that's not Clayton. But somewhere in there a stick came up. Obviously Clayton was cut. It may have been just an errant stick, and maybe that's why Procession doesn't realize that it happened. I don't know. We didn't see it, and we didn't even know the referee. He was way behind the play when he had the hand up. Nonetheless, a huge opportunity for these Wolves, looking for their first win of the season. They're 0-4-1. They're down 2-1 in their home rink. 5:27 to go, and they will go to the power play. The face-off won by the Battalion, ride to his defense partner and out. And Gonchar will pick it up in the Sudbury zone. Gonchar will drop a little bit dangerously, but for the moment, Provorov controlled. Now to Walton. Walton looking to drop to Provorov. Fans getting a little restless here. Ferran now also pointing backwards, and the pass takes a bounce on the ice and over a stick, and now Walton will have to regroup in his end. This time Walton's just going to go with speed. Gets it up to Ferran, who puts it in deep, and Walton will go to the end boards to pick it up. Trying to pin it there to just kind of freeze the play. And a check on the Battalion player, and Coughlin's going to get called for that. So that's going to, I think, negate the Wolves' power play. I didn't see the player he hit, but Coughlin went in and laid the body maybe a little bit up in the head area. I think it might be a head check.
It looked like he might have just flipped him up high, and of course the Battalion racked pretty strongly.
I mean, he went in to lay a check. I don't think it was like a head target, but I do think that it went up high. And as a result, Coughlin's going to get called. It's only 2 minutes on the board. But 2 crucial minutes, because the Wolves had a minute 11 remaining on their power play, down a goal. Now you go to 4-on-4, which isn't terrible. 4-on-4 can create some chances for a team that's down, but you'd rather be 5-on-4.
Yes, absolutely. You're right. Tough result when you had that huge power play opportunity. And no, I don't think that was necessarily a malicious hit. Of course, why would you want to put your team in this position? But you're right. Maybe the Wolves will find a way to open up the ice here. They do have a couple players who do well.
And a shot from the point through traffic off the draw, and it goes in the Sudbury net. It's a 3-1 Battalion lead. They score 4-on-4. And that just makes things a lot tougher for the Wolves. It's Liram Amidovsky. Very innocent-looking play as he just was skating up near the blue line with the puck and ripped the wrist shot toward the net, and it just went straight in.
Seemed to be some traffic in front, and Marshall didn't get a good look at it coming through.
Yeah, I don't think it hit anything, but I think there may have been a screen to your point, and Finn Marshall's played a pretty good game, but that one, not much he could do. But it's obviously a backbreaker for him. So 4:24 remaining now in the third. Wolves down 3-1, 4-on-4 for 50 seconds, 50 seconds. And then we will go to a North Bay abbreviated power play.
Yeah, especially for a Wolves team that, like you said, has struggled to score a little bit at times early in this season. We saw a couple Wolves teams in recent years that could pour it on and get you a couple late, but it's been a bit of a different situation lately, so it puts them in a tough spot for sure. Yeah,
there's no OHL scoring leader David Goyette on this team, although Walton's pretty darn good. Here we go now with a shot by the Battalion. I guess the point is there's not several of them like there were that year, or those years with Goyette and Dvorsky, and the list goes on. Walton and Villeneuve, and you add more depth, more veteran players. This team's a little younger, a little more inexperienced, and they're going to have to pull a rabbit out of their hat here. Here's North Bay now in the Sudbury zone. 3:20 to go. It's a North Bay power play. 40 seconds to go in the power play. Absolutely a must kill for the Wolves. Battalion control, and then it's a giveaway. Here comes Clayton. Blake Clayton over the blue line. Dean decides not to go with him and will go to the bench instead. Back to the point, over the stick of Ewells. Oh, he does a good job to reach back and grab that. Is able to get it back of the net. North Bay controlling there. Hovan and Ferran now out on the penalty kill up front for Sudbury. Here's Kapagaritis over the line for North Bay. And he falls, but the puck doesn't squirt free to Ewells. A little slash on Potsy there, no call, and Potsy will skate around inside the zone. Flicks it up in the air. Hovan tried to make a fair catch, couldn't grab it. The Wolves will flick it up. Power play now over, 2:30 to go in the hockey game, or at least in regulation time. Wolves need 2 to find a way to tie this one. Puck shot into the North Bay zone. Ferran hits his man hard. Glove comes off Kapagaritis, and now the Battalion will shoot it in to the Sudbury end. Finn Marshall waving his hand at the bench, wondering when he should go. We're down to 2:05 remaining in the third. 3-1 Battalion. Puck up to center. Flicked in by the Battalion. Gonchar will bump his man. Looking to try to pick up that loose puck, but the Battalion will keep it there. There's a shot. It's off a body, doesn't get through. Bronson Ride at the blue line. Smartly just puts it in deep, down to the end boards. Brand at the end of a shift here doesn't have much left to try to get the puck with.
And Marshall not getting his chance to get off for an extra attacker as the Wolves have been kept in their own zone.
Yeah, the Battalion doing a good job here, just kind of keeping it deep. There's a shot on net now through traffic. I don't know if Marshall saw it, but he stopped it. Battalion doing a really good job here. Sudbury dead tired, trying to get control. Puck shot over the net, and now Walton will pick it up. Everybody else goes on a change. Walton's by himself into the zone. Gets hit by two players as he skates through. Last minute of play now in the hockey game. Wolves need two. Blonda with some speed up ice. Lost it though. Procession goes after it. Hits Blonda hard along the boards. Now Provorov trying to control. Wolves just can't get it over that blue line to even get Marshall out. Finally, it's knifed in deep, and Marshall will head to the bench. Chitteroni is the skater off the bench, heading into the zone. 31 seconds to go. Clayton pins it on the end boards. Here's Henderson. Henderson digging for it. Tied up by Procession. Clayton will pick it up, looking to the point, banks it off the boards. Tough one for Blonda, but he's able to keep it in. Still tied up on the boards. Wolves running out of time here with 12 seconds to go. Battalion content just to pin it on the boards in the corner. They're moving it just enough. The referee's not calling anything, not whistling it down. And the time is going to tick off to the frustration of the Sudbury faithful here at the community arena. And the clock runs out on the Wolves' second home game of the season, and they will lose the game 3-1 to the visiting Battalion, who outshoot Sudbury 30-25. Credit the Battalion with playing a smart road game. Obviously, their goaltender, Mike McIver, was very solid, stopping 24 of 25. Finn Marshall was good in the Sudbury net, but not quite good enough on this night.
Yeah, you can't really fault the effort too much for the Wolves here. Even though they were tired, they were still digging in late, but just weren't able to generate much from it. Like you say, a good game from Marshall, but just not quite enough for a team that was facing a deficit and has had a little bit of trouble here early in the year battling back from those.
So the Battalion will win it 3-1. Their record goes to 3-2, a Battalion team looking to kind of take a step up from last season. The Wolves will drop to 0-5-1 on the season. This is their only game of the weekend, and they will have some time to regroup, catch their breath, get Kieran Walton in some practices with the team to kind of find some chemistry, and see if they can come back next weekend on the holiday weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, and try to find the win column. The final tonight for Jeff Giffen and Ben Leeson, 3-1. The Battalion win it here at the Sudbury Community Arena. Thank you for tuning in to Wolves Hockey, and we'll see you next time.
Presentation brought to you by Eastlink. Tonight's third star from the North Bay Battalion, number 34, Mike McIver. Tonight's the second star from your hometown Sudbury Wolves, number 19, Blake Clayton. And tonight's first star from the North Bay Battalion, number 14, Jan Warren. Please drive safe and